This tea is about as hot as the tea I'm going to spill in this video. So quick disclaimer before I even start this video. I'm aware that the quality is terrible. I'm taking it on my MacBook. I don't have access to my camera right now. The next video might be better. It might be taken on my MacBook again. We'll have to wait and see. So for anyone who is coming here from Twitter, I did post a tweet not too long ago, probably a couple days ago, mentioning that I wanted to make this video, and I left my Tumblr ask link just to send me any questions that you have for me to answer in this video. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the first question that I will be answering is, what sexuality do you identify as? Now, this is a question that I really wanted to touch on, just because I feel like it will give a lot of insight as to how I'm answering a lot of the other questions that I will be answering in this video. When I came out earlier this year, I originally came out as bisexual. If I were to pick a sexuality that I still identify most with, it would be a bisexual. However, sexuality is very fluid, and just throughout my own journey, just even recently, I feel that I've kind of not connected with it as well. I do prefer to identify as queer now. For a lot of people who know me, I also do identify myself as gay, even though I don't exclusively only like women and people who are the same sex as me or same gender as me. So I do prefer to identify myself as queer. The next question I have here is, how did you determine your sexuality? This question is a little bit hard to answer because I don't have a hard and fast answer for it. I feel as though kind of the coming out process to myself, like my personal coming out, was very kind of dragged on. I can't say that there was really one moment or one experience that made me realize it. It was kind of just something that slowly became a part of my everyday life over the course of a really long period of time. In regards to when I started to notice my sexuality, that was probably a couple years ago. I want to say it was likely around the age 18. There wasn't something that happened that kind of triggered me to come to the realization. It was just something that kind of happened. That being said, now that I do know and am very open about my sexuality, it is much easier to kind of attribute my sexuality to feelings and experiences that I had prior to noticing it myself. While we still are on this topic, I feel like it is a good idea to mention that I actually did struggle with this a lot. I didn't come to the realization about my sexuality until I was in college. By the time I came out to myself again, I was a very young adult, so it was something very new to me when I already had a lot of other new things going on. Not that coming to terms with your sexuality is ever an easy thing to do. It was just very different from what I'm used to hearing about. So it is something that I really did have a hard time with when I was coming to the realization of my own sexuality. I never drink tea, but this is so good. There's a lot of apologies in this video, but I also wanted to apologize for my hair. That ain't it. So question number 3 is, who was the first person you told? I feel like these questions, just in regard to myself, are pretty interesting because I have never, and still have not, ever directly came out to somebody and told them my sexuality. So the first person that I ever really would have told would have been one of my friends from high school, and I can't even remember what situation it was in regards to, but I did just start talking about experiences that I was having with girls I was seeing or talking to, and that was really how I just kind of introduced the idea that I wasn't straight. I was really just kind of talking about the experiences I was having like I would with anybody else. I fixed my hair a little bit. You're welcome. So the next question is, if you are out, how did your parents and friends react when you told them? I'll talk about my parents a little bit. So when I did come out to my parents, I, again, didn't come out to them as saying I was gay. I will do a kind of more in-depth coming out video if anybody would like to see that and talk about it a little bit more in more detail. As a lot of people know, I do have a girlfriend, so when I did come out to my parents, I just told them that I was dating this person, my girlfriend Courtney. I wouldn't say that I was ever expecting a bad reaction because I wasn't at all. What I was expecting was kind of a more neutral reaction. It was definitely unexpected just because I thought they wouldn't really care and it would just be fine, but they were very excited, which was almost like, or definitely a lot better, and it was amazing. What is one question you hate people asking about your sexuality? So this one isn't really in regards to a question about my sexuality. I do have one that is kind of more related to that, which I'll mention after. So I am going to say more than one thing because I can make a whole video on this on its own. One thing that, not necessarily that I hate, but that has always really confused me is when people come out and other people ask them if they're sure. Now, I know that this isn't always meant to be kind of a negative question, but I just really don't think people understand how much thought and courage goes into people coming out. So if they weren't sure, the chances are that they wouldn't be doing it if they are the ones choosing to do it. Maybe don't ask that question. The question that I really hate getting asked based on my sexuality, I've actually only ever been asked this question once, and it is in regards to being in a relationship with another female. So in my own situation, I myself am very feminine, and I am also attracted to other feminine women. One question that I absolutely hate is, who is the man in the relationship? I'm not sure if people really understand the concept of a lesbian relationship or just a relationship between two women, but the point usually is that there is no man. It's mind-blowing. Have you ever been to a gay bar? No, I have not. Who is your favorite LGBT icon / advocate / celebrity? This will probably not come as a surprise, but my favorite LGBT icon is definitely Ellen DeGeneres. I know that seems like a bit of a cliche answer, but I did grow up watching her, so she was just kind of a part of my everyday life. I wouldn't say that she had anything to do with kind of my own coming out process, but looking back on it, I feel like she probably had a really positive impact on it and made my life a whole lot easier when I did come to the realization of my own sexuality. I feel like she's just incredible for anybody who does kind of need someone's voice to speak out for them and to kind of help guide them in the right direction. And it's great to see somebody who has shared the same struggles with you become so successful and be so happy. And it's just, she's amazing. She's a great role model, and I think it's fantastic that other LGBT people have her to look up to as well. Have you ever been in a relationship? Yes, I have been in many relationships with men and women. I do have my girlfriend Courtney right now. We are coming up on our 1 year, and she will be coming out to Canada to see me. I couldn't be happier or more excited. Like I said, I also have been in relationships with men. In regards to my sexuality, I feel like I do get along with women a lot better. This is why I was talking about how I do identify more with queer now as opposed to bisexual. I know, and a lot of other people know, that with any sexuality, there is a spectrum. With bisexuality, you could be, and I don't want to put it into percentages because it's ridiculous and it doesn't have to be put into percentages, but you could be 10% like an opposite sex and 90% like another sex. A lot of people do still see it as 50-50, so I feel like identifying as queer when I am significantly more attracted to women and I feel like I get along with them in relationships a lot better. It's just easier to identify as queer as opposed to bisexual, and that is the reasoning behind it for me. Have you ever faced discrimination? I can't pinpoint a instance specifically where I have felt unsafe or targeted because of my sexuality. However, the way that I do feel on an everyday basis now that I am out is much different from how I experienced things prior. I am a lot less quick to talk about my personal life when I meet new people, so there's just a lot of things that I can't do as easily as I used to be able to. And I feel like that does stem from discrimination. It's something that people really take for granted, and a lot of people don't understand that homophobia still is a very real thing. A lot of people think homophobia is violent and always loud and angry. That is not the case. There's just so many ways that people do face discrimination, and there's so many ways that people display discrimination and homophobia. And it's still a very prevalent problem every day. Your favorite LGBT movie or show? My favorite LGBT movie is Love, Simon. I've seen it probably 30 times. I could watch it again right now. I probably will watch it today while I'm cleaning my apartment. I love that movie. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's really good as far as most LGBT movies go. There's not many, and it's pretty good. What are some of the best ways for people to be good allies? I love this question. I think the most important thing when you're trying to be a good ally to any community is to just really listen to the people who are a part of that community. A lot of the time I do see people who have good intentions, but they are speaking over people in the community and kind of disregarding their concerns without necessarily meaning to, but it is still harmful. If you want to be a good ally, definitely listen to your friends, family, people online that you're having discussions with. The main idea of being a good ally is to help give a voice to people whose voices aren't as appreciated or heard. So that is the last of the questions for this video. So I am going to end it there. Thank you so much to everybody who did send in questions and who wanted to kind of get to know more about me, the community in general, how to help be a good ally. I will definitely be making more videos, so I will probably post asking what people want to see. If there's anything that you do want to see, comment or reach out to me directly, and it's something that I would love to do. I really like bringing these things to people's attention. I think that is all things that really need to be discussed more, so I will definitely be making more videos related to these topics. So your girl forgot to film an actual outro, but I can't wait to post again and to hear what you guys would like to see. Thank you so much again for watching this video.